We wanted to make a hello world program using Vue.js. So assuming we don't know where to begin, so just to remember that as a developer, there are things that we need to memorize, but there are things that we also better just Google it up. Get started with Vue.js. So if you haven't done so, you need to install Vue.js using this guide. So what you need basically would be npm node.js. So that would be covered as a separate tutorial. If you need, just look at the description for the details. But for now, we'll assume that you have done the installation, so we'll just proceed with initializing Vue.js. And there's also one thing you need to know if you haven't heard about it yet, is the concept of PWA, or progressive web applications. To know more about this, you can just search in Google as well. But in a nutshell, what it means is that your website would behave more like a desktop application or a mobile application, and it comes with a minimum set of features, including but not limited to offline function. So that's what we are gonna do with Vue.js. So to begin, we go to our command line. To make sure that we have installed Vue.js properly, we can just run the vue command and see what it tells us. It should be a recognized command, means it is installed successfully. So to make a basic template that we can modify, and with the basic PWA features, we can run the command vue PWA init, then your project name. So let's say your project name is called project 1. I entered the command wrongly. So instead of vue PWA, it should be vue init PWA project 1. So view as in view command, init to initialize. PWA is basically the template that we want to utilize, then our project name. Target directory exist. Continue no. Let's pick another name. If we want to, the value in the parentheses is the suggested value. If you want to accept that, press enter. Or if you want to modify, just enter, such as project 6 or project 5b. Then that will be the project name if you don't like the default. The project short name, same as name. Project description, we take the default. And then author, we take the default. View build, we use the recommended for most users, runtime plus compiler. We need the view router. We need router because we are using PWA. For most modern websites, it has to be, for most single page applications rather, we need to be using router, so we choose yes. ESLint, no. ESLint is basically a code review framework, but if you are beginning to code in JavaScript and your syntax is not strictly, let's say, compliant, then we better turn it off, so we choose no. Setup unit test, no, we don't need that. No night watch. Okay, so we move to a project folder, cd project 5, we install the dependencies. So remember that since we are using a template, it comes with minimum PWA functionality, but all this functionality are being powered by multiple npm packages. So we need to install this bare minimum as well. That's why we are using this. command. Now done. It says here there is some issues, so we need to run npm audit fix, and that's it. So in order to see how our template looks like, we need to enable the localhost server. So we can do that by using the command npm run dev. npm is the command to utilize to run npm commands, which is including the keyword run, which basically tells us to run either a production version or a development version of our code. So we are using the development version, that's why we are using npm run dev. We'll cover later how the production version differs. Notice that this is the project name that we have entered earlier when we have overridden the suggested project name, and we are pointed now to localhost port 8080 as the default. So basically we have a running website on our machine. But how does the backend code, or how does the HTML markup look like? So remember that we have placed it in our project 5 folder. Where can we find it? And just to remember that this localhost 8080 server will only be functional while this screen is showing in this way, listening at the same localhost plus port. If we want to terminate the server, we can just Control C and yes. Now if we go back and refresh, it's already offline. So let's take a look about this project 5. So I'm using Sublime Code Editor or IDE. Project 5. So this is the entire project folder that was generated purely from Vue init pwa project 5. When I run this code, it generated all this. So our entry point is index.html, but nothing to change here. This is auto-generated, and let's run it again so we can see. This welcome page is located in src router index, no, router src components hello. So you see here, these are the 5 links that we can see in our welcome page. 1 2 3 4 5. Then the welcome to your Vue.js, which is the message here, and we'll go to that how it was passed later, which is from this variable. One good thing about npm hosted server is that it listens or watches for code changes. So for example, what I mean is essential links, which we can find here. Let's change it to something else. Let's say hello world. Press save, Control S or save, and it's already changed here. So if you are using dual screen then it makes development faster for you, as you can immediately see the changes in real time. So it reflects immediately. And now we want to see, so just to explain how this project is structured, make understand that the entry point would be our index.html. Then the next would be main.js, which is located in src. Then after main.js, there is a reference to router. So this router is what tells our application which file to use, file or component. So that is defined here in the router file, src router index.js, which shows this, and the main route, which is the blank route or the blank path, or just a slash, which signifies our home page, is pointed to a component named hello with the reference to hello, and pointed to components hello, which is found under src components hello.view. So if we have to type here, this is src components hello.view. So we will cover separately how multiple components is gonna work out, but for now you're able to build and run a basic Vue website that you can modify based on your own needs. So what have we learned today? We learned today the Vue init pwa project name. So as a recap, what it does is it initializes a PWA project, a Vue project, initializes a Vue project using template PWA and with your project name, which is your project folder. Another command we have learned today is Vue npm run dev. What it does is it tells npm to enable or activate a server for whatever project it is run inside from, so in our project folder, and run it as a development version. So that's it for today.